What's going on, everyone? I got an exciting video today. What we're gonna do is we're gonna answer some comments live. So you're gonna get to see comments. I haven't edited any of these yet, but we're just gonna read through. I'm gonna answer, read through them, and yeah. So let's get it. Okay. So Ellis773 says promosome, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Okay. So someone commented. MaxStreamer8943 said, I try to think positive, but I'm really feeling bad going back to work and continuing life, but I can't read, watch anything without masking it. Silence has gradually become a nightmare, as it has for me. I feel that my life has lost its charm. There are high chances of it killing me in the future. There are high chances I'm living for third parties. Unfortunately, the cure is only in the distant future. Until then, I don't know if I can take it. Okay, my friend, you have a lot of negative thoughts here getting you. You said, I don't know if I can take it. That's how you feel now, but you don't know the future. You could habituate to this. You could get to a place where life is worth living. There isn't a high chance of it killing you. There is a high chance of you actually recovering and habituating to it. You see, here's the deal: you can't control the nature of tinnitus. Their cure does not exist. In a sense, that of actually controlling the sound. If that's your definition of a cure, you're right. It doesn't exist. So I don't see why someone would sit around and wait for a pill to be able to exist to make you get your life back, when you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotions. I would recommend you hitting my webinar and signing up to work with me, and we can get your thoughts and your reactions under control. You don't have to wait for there to be a quote unquote like medical cure in order to get your life back. So that's what I would recommend you do, my friend. How long do you have tinnitus? I've had it my entire life. I think the first time I ever noticed a ringing in my ears that never went away was in my 20s. It was after playing music really loud. I habituated to it. I got it again. It came back again when I was in Rochester, New York, over like maybe 8 to 10 years ago. And then I was habituated for years. I don't know, like 6 years. Never even heard it. And then it came back. It came back with a vengeance. Like 2 years ago, after an ear infection, freaked out. I was going through a lot of trauma, and then I habituated for like a third time. So yeah, and it was challenging. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was very challenging. This last time was a nightmare. Straight up. I'm just being real with you. So yes, I've had it my entire life. Great, thank you. 100% spot on. Claustrophobic is the word. The emotional reaction to it all. I keep a diary as well. Good for you. You're right, but I still get moments when I feel like I'm trapped. I do too. I'm not really anymore, but sometimes those old thoughts try to creep back into my brain. And this forever tinnitus and hyperacusis. Feelings like I'm trapped in this tinnitus and hyperacusis. I'm just going to stop you right there. Feeling like that is one thing, but actually that being true is two different things. Your feelings are not facts. Your feelings can't predict the future. You have to notice that. You have to pinpoint those thoughts. So if I would have that thought, it'd be like, bam, right to the thought journal, and I would be like, okay, I'm gonna basically be like, well, I might not be trapped like this, even though I feel like I'm gonna be trapped like this. That's just a feeling, okay? That's just a thought. That is not facts. Again, in the webinar, when you hit the link in the description, I talk about all this, okay? In my program, I show you literally how to go through your thoughts and actually reprogram them, which actually eliminates your tinnitus suffering. Okay, so he continues to say, it's a debilitating change of life. Yeah, it is debilitating. When you hear it at nights, etc. Keep the videos coming. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I'm going to smash that love button. That's what's up. So, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to keep the videos coming. Sometimes this gets hard to do this because, I would just love to walk away from tinnitus, pick up another career, just walk away, never make another video, just put this in the past and never think about it ever again. And a lot of times I'm tempted to do that for sure, and maybe the future I'll get into something completely different. I do this for the community. I do this because no one else is doing it. I would love for people to take up the mantle and start making positive videos about tinnitus. I feel like I have to do this because if I don't, then, who else is going to do it? There's just not a lot of positivity in the tinnitus space. So that's why I'm doing this. Hi, Dandas. coffee drinking and alcohols and smoking cause spikes. Is this proven or a myth? Do you know, my friend? I'm going to DRNO 3891. Okay, my friend, first off, does it cause spikes? That's kind of like a question as old as time. But I'm gonna say I drink a lot of coffee and I don't get any spikes from it. So I think spikes just happen randomly. Personally, that's my thought. I think you can drink a 30 rack of beer and not get a tinnitus spike, or you could drink one sip of wine and get a spike. I think spikes are random. I don't think it's correlated to what you eat and drink. I think if you want to eat and drink something, go ahead and eat and drink something and don't worry about tinnitus. As long as it's not damaging your auditory system, I wouldn't worry about it. Spikes are going to happen. They happen randomly if you've had any coffee or not. And I think the majority, the problem is that a lot of people, they will monitor their tinnitus so much that if they eat an apple, they'll be like, oh, apples cause tinnitus spikes. That's all ludicrous. That's all just, I wouldn't pay any attention to that. Now, I will talk about the smoking. I would encourage you, why are you smoking? Why are you drinking alcohol? Usually that's escapism behavior because there's some undealt with trauma in your life that's causing you to want to run towards alcohol. And people say, oh, I'm just bored, or it just makes me feel good. Yeah, but why don't you already feel good? When you press people as to the why do you drink? Well, I want to feel good. Why do you want to feel good? I don't know. Why don't you feel good? Because if you push people long enough, you'll get to some reason and they'll be like, well, I'm not happy with my life. I don't like my job. My life is boring. I felt like life was supposed to be about something more. I'm unhappy with my life. That's why it will get to some reason why they drink and smoke. I would encourage you to keep asking those questions till you get to that reason. Why do you drink and smoke? I don't drink and smoke anymore because I love my life. I used to not like it, and that caused me to drink and smoke. Once I was able to get to that, I was able to correct that, stop drinking and smoking, and now, yeah, on the healing path, and I encourage everyone else to ask those questions and get there. Okay, do you believe, okay, this is the same question, do you believe smoking and coffee is a fight? No, I don't. I think it's a myth. I think it's, if you see that, you're probably, if you're asking that question, I would guess you've been on tinnitus talk forums, and you saw someone say that drinking and coffee and smoke did that. No, man, I wouldn't even, if I was going to drink, smoke, do drugs, I wouldn't even worry about tinnitus. I would just do whatever the hell I wanted to do because tinnitus it don't rule my life one bit. I get on planes, I get on elevators, I don't even care about tinnitus. It ain't even a big deal at this point. Okay, Bradid 2026. There are very few feelings that can match the disappointment in yourself for not doing what you know is good for you. To try to do something you may not want to do is very satisfying. That's true. When you're afraid to jump off that high dive and you jump off that high dive, my brother, nothing can make you feel as good as facing the fear, facing your inner demons, and taking a sword out and smacking that demon right in the face. That's what I'm saying. When you smack that fear right in the face and you're like, I got courage. Okay, I got courage. I was afraid to do this and I did that. And you're saying, the disappointment for allowing yourself to back down in the face of fear, you got to live with that the rest of my life. I don't care if it kills me. I don't care if it kills me. I'm not going to back down. I'm going forward. Okay? I don't care if there's the most frightening demon, monster, exorcist, insidious beast there is. I'm coming at it with full force. And I'm going to attack that thing that is holding me back. I'm not going to live my life in fear. I'm not going to get to the end of my life on the slab, taking my last breath, being like, oh, I backed out. I let fear bully me around. Nah, hell no. That's not how I live my life. I'm a warrior, son. And I encourage everyone else to get on the path. All right. Lily MRE 8930. Hey, I have tinnitus 724. But also I have a problem like that when I hear external sounds, which is usually loud, or certain sounds, my ear make noise like thumping, pounding sound, and my inner ear vibrate. If the external sounds so loud, the noise my ear gets so louder. What do you mean with reactive tinnitus is this? Or do I have a different thing? Please understand, I need so much. Do or did you have this? Okay, so with tinnitus, it's extremely subjective, my friend. Okay, you may have a thumping, you may have something like that. I've talked to people who have jet engines in their ears, jackhammer sounds, ridiculous stuff. Tinnitus can get so insanely loud. It can be so objective. People can say, I hear all this stuff. And if it's real to you, it's real. I would never deny that. For me, I didn't have specifically a thumping, but then again, I didn't sit around and monitor it. So I think if I would have sat around and become really obsessed with it and just listened in 24/7, it probably could have gotten that bad. It's so subjective what you hear and what you don't hear, right? So it's like, I mean, you could hear that. You might not. There's people who are completely deaf with tinnitus. That's all they hear are the sounds. That's all they hear is the tinnitus. They can't mask it at all. They're completely deaf. There's people that are deaf in one ear. My uncle's almost deaf. He has ringing so loud. He's like, when I was at the funeral and I was with family, he goes, "I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. I can't even hear what you're saying because all I hear is the ringing." It's all he hears is a ringing, essentially. So, yeah, you can have this ridiculous, complex ringing, hyperacusis, vibration, all this stuff. I will say that the vibrating, I know what you're talking about, and when the dishes would clank, it would like echo in my ear, would like vibrate in my ear, would like play out in my ear, and it was very, very scary. So I did have that. Everything you're explaining, I did not have everything, but I do not think that's an excuse to not habituate. I don't think there's any. I mean, your brain can habituate out train sounds. People live next to trains have said, "Oh, I don't hear the train anymore." How do you not hear a train? Literally vibrating your house apart. I habituated to it. You can't bring to me something you can't habituate to. I don't think so. People habituate to chronic pain, back pain, chronic migraine, splitting headaches. People habituate to it. Monks learn to meditate to a place where they can set themselves on fire and not feel it. Literally, your brain is that powerful, my friends. Go research the monks that have set themselves on fire. They've literally habituated to like not feeling the sensation of burning alive. If the human brain can do that, absolutely it can habituate a jackhammer out of your head, 1,000%. All right, Brad 2026. Funny you should mention that, since being diagnosed with tinnitus in January this year. A conversation with my family friend who'd want to know what's happening lately. Have been informed about my tinnitus. To my utter surprise, my younger sister, I'm 66, she's 58, informed me that she had it the last 2 years. When I asked her why she had it mentioned to me, she said because it wasn't a big deal. I also found out that many of my friends either had or knew people who had it. It's very common when you start to press people about it. They just don't talk about it. Again, never came up in the conversation because it just wasn't a thing. One specific friend had it since he was a child and didn't know any different. His advice to me, love your tinnitus. Yeah, so once you realize like tinnitus is very common. In the music industry space, it's very common. Someone reached out to me and said, "I didn't know you were helping people with making tinnitus videos. I have it. I never even thought to freak out about it." So many people have it. A lot of people are just not a big deal. That's exactly kind of where their mind goes. It's not a big deal. So if you're suffering from tinnitus and any symptom, reactive, I don't care how bad it is. It's because if you're suffering, it's because of your reaction. That's it. You're suffering because your suffering is caused by what you feel about tinnitus, not the actual sound. I'll say it again. Your suffering is not caused by the tinnitus sound itself, but by you reacting to it and choosing to suffer. That's where your suffering is coming from. That is why, and I know this to be 100% factual, based in facts, because there are millions of people that get it that do not suffer, that have it way worse than you. And there are people who get it, okay, who can't even hear it. They have to go in a dark room, a quiet room, and actually listen to it to hear it. That's how low it is. And they're freaked out about it. They're in complete misery. They're in complete hell. You cannot convince me that tinnitus suffering is caused by the sound. You can't. You think that it's the case, but it's not, because there are millions of people who get it who don't suffer a single second, yet they objectively have louder tinnitus than you probably have ever heard. My thoughts are with you, Dan. Take care. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. We're going to keep getting to a few more, and then we're going to get our day started. Sorry for the passing of your aunt. Thank you. She was a great woman, and she is missed every day. Your aunt sounds like a wonderful. I'm sorry. Thank you. So about your aunt. I'm going to stop the video here. Someone says, spot on. I gave up the gym, etc. when I was first got T and hyperacusis for obvious reasons. It doesn't help. It does help, but it doesn't rid the sound and the pain of hyperacusis. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Okay? You're not gonna hear this very few places. Let me tell you something. Life is not meant to be easy. Okay? Whoever said life was going to be easy, whoever said life was going to be free from suffering, no one. If you've assumed that, and you've assumed life was smooth sailing up until now, and now it's, I have to deal with tinnitus or this or that. You assume life is just going to be easy. Someone lied to you, my friend. Someone lied to you. I'm here to tell you the truth. Life is filled with suffering. Okay? The Buddha says life is suffering. Jesus Christ says, pick up your cross and follow me. Okay? So even religions will tell you that life is suffering. Atheists will tell you the same. Life is suffering. Okay, so I'm just trying to think, where did you think that life wasn't going to be easy? It's going to be difficult. There's going to be things that happen. There's going to be days where you feel like giving up. There's going to be moments where you feel like you can't push through. There's going to be times when it feels like it's not worth it. That you should just give up, quit, turn into a nihilist, become one of the negative trolls that is just commenting on YouTube that's angry that people are healing. You could become that. You could go from being the hero to the villain. You can choose to become the villain. Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you something. How does that help you? How does that help anyone else? How does that help to leave a legacy of helping people, help transforming people, bringing them from darkness to light? That is the whole point of human beings. There's a whole point of why we are here, to help alleviate the suffering of other people, to tell our story, to leave a positive legacy, and to help bring people from a dark place to a light place. That is why we exist. And part of that is facing your fears. Part of becoming a hero is facing your fears. Watch any hero movie. There was some difficult trial that they had to go through. There was some moment where they decided to pick up the call, to heed to the call of being a hero. They went on a journey, and they had to confront something that was very scary. Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia. They decided to go on the hero path, on the healing path, and it wasn't easy. And they had to have bravery, they had to have courage. But there was a transformation happened in that, in which they became the person that everyone else sitting in the movie was rooting for. Braveheart. There was this moment in Braveheart, right? When everyone wanted to go home, all the farmers with pitchforks wanted to go home. Braveheart comes up, William Wallace comes up and he's like, why do you want to go? And he's like, well, if we stay, we could die. But if we leave, we'll live. And he goes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you stay, you could die. If you leave, you might live. But is it really, what he's challenging them to think is it really living if you've allowed yourself to be in fear the entire time? Would you trade it all when you're getting ready to die anyway, because you're going to be on your deathbed at some point? You will be facing your mortality. Everyone will be. It is what it is. You do not escape life alive. I'm sorry. Everyone's going to die. Newsflash, right? But would you trade all of that to come back to this moment right here, to look your fear in the eye and say that you cannot have my freedom? You're not going to be able to get to me. I'll stand up and I'll die right now if I have to, for the things that I believe in. So how do I apply this to tinnitus? You're not going to take my gains from me, tinnitus. I'm going to get in the gym. I'm going to get on the airplane. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not afraid of it. You're not going to have that from me. You're not going to take that from me. I would trade all those years to come back here, right here, stand up to the bully and say, you're not going to have my lunch money. So I would get back in the gym. I would get back to living life. I would get back to going to a concert if that's what you're avoiding, or an airplane if that's what you're avoiding, or an elevator if that's what you're avoiding. I don't know your thing. I don't know what you're avoiding. I would take that nap, okay? I would drink that coffee, because I'm not going to let tinnitus boss me around. No, hell no, I'm going to stand up to it. All right? Because that's what it's called to be brave. That's what we're all called to do. That is what a legacy is. That's what it means to be a hero. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to stop the video here. I hope you all got a lot out of it. Again, if you want to hit my webinar and see how I did it and see what my mindset is, I would love to work with you. Got a program that I put together. I would love to see you in it. I'm building something great here. This is a great community. I love this channel. I love these people. I love every one of you who comment. And I try to get to them as much as I can. But until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.